Hello, Oilers fans. Welcome to the day after episode discussion of the Oilers 4-0 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Oilers collect their third win of the season, defeating Pittsburgh by a score of 4-0. Stuart Skinner gets his first shutout of the season and his fifth career shutout overall. The Oilers completely dominated this game from beginning to end. The Pittsburgh Penguins had some looks, but when they, got in close and they had a couple good chances, Stuart Skinner stood tall. Skinner didn't have to be busy. However, he was very solid in the net, and hopefully he can build off of this performance. For the Oilers, there were a couple players that got themselves on the score sheet for the first time. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scored his first goal of the season, and Viktor Arvidsson got his first points of the year as well with 3 assists. He led the team, and I think Viktor Arvidsson is well on his way to turning his game around. So if you end up enjoying this day after discussion, make sure you hit that like button. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're not yet subscribed, we are closing in on 4,000 subscribers, and your support has meant the world. It means a lot, and I'm very excited for the future of this channel. Friendly reminder, I am part of the Game Over Network. If you want to check out Game Over Edmonton's YouTube channel, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And I am working on getting all of my content that you are currently seeing here on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Amazon Podcasts. That way, if there's ever times where you cannot physically watch a YouTube video, it will be available in audio form, in podcast form, on the apps and the websites that you get your podcasts. So that's something that I'm also working on. Very excited about that. But let's get into the day after discussion. As always, these day after discussions, I have all the topics. They will be time-stamped. So if there's anything that you want to skip to, if there's any topic that you want to hear before the other ones, you can do so very easily by clicking the timestamps that I will have in the description of this video. Oilers win 4-0 last night at even strength. Expected goals for percentage for Edmonton was 68.30%. Corsi for was 63.40%. The Oilers, it was pure domination from beginning to end, and Joel Blomqvist in the Pittsburgh Penguins net stood on his I've never seen a goalie play that well against Edmonton. Now, I've seen goalies play good, but that was like another type of level. That was like Dominik Hasek level good. It's sad too. He gave up 4 goals, but he still had like a 910, a 911 save percentage. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, and if you're a Penguins fan, what did you think about the game last night? And also, do you think the team is playing to try and get Mike Sullivan fired? There's been a lot of rumors swirling about that for several years now. But the team in Pittsburgh looks a little off, and even Sidney Crosby looked off last night, and that's pretty rare to see. You don't expect certain players to maybe tune the coach out, but I am wondering if it is time for some change in Pittsburgh. Our topics today, 8-game sample size. As I've discussed in previous videos, now that the Oilers have played 8 games, we're going to go over the 8-game sample size, take a look at some of their advanced metrics, and project whether this team is winning more than they should, losing more than they should, and kind of project where they're going to go. Viktor Arvidsson, we're going to discuss his game last night. He was phenomenal for the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to talk about Stuart Skinner's game because not only last night, but against Carolina as well, Stuart Skinner stood on his head, played very well, deserved to win against that Carolina team, and last night he got the shutout against Pittsburgh, so that's really good to see for Skinner. We're going to talk about the Kulak-Emberson pairing, which should never be broken up ever again, and if you are Paul Coffey and Chris Knobloch, I know none of them tune into this podcast. However, if for some reason they do, just know that those two need to stay together, and they better not be broken up. Next topic will be Hyman may never score again. Zach Hyman had so many opportunities to get himself onto the scoreboard last night, and he just could not bury. He could not convert. And for Zach Hyman, he may never score again. And then we're going to discuss what is up next for the Oilers. They have a back-to-back this weekend on the road. I believe it's Detroit and someone else. Let me take a quick look at the schedule. Detroit and Columbus. So they play Detroit at 4 p.m. Mountain on Sunday, and then Columbus at 5 p.m. Mountain on Monday the 28th. We will discuss that, and then I'll give my closing thoughts. So first topic, the 8-game sample size. So the Edmonton Oilers, they are currently 3-4-1 in this first 8 games. A points percentage of 438%. However, when you take a look at some of their advanced metrics, and I'm going to bring up my screen here, my other computer monitor, their Corsi for 58.90%, which ranks second in the league. Fenwick for percentage ranks second at 57.85%. Shots for percentage ranks first at 58.35%. Goals for percentage, of course, is only 46.45%, which is way down here, 46.15%, which ranks 24th. And then if you sort by expected goals for percentage, they currently rank second in the league, 57.90%. And if we scroll even further, scoring chances for, 59.26%, and high danger chances for, the Oilers rank first in the league, not only in high danger chances for percentage, but they are third in high danger chances, period. Now, Pittsburgh is first. Pittsburgh has generated the most high danger chances of any team. Last night, the Oilers had 25 high danger looks, which is unbelievable. That's one of the highest I've ever seen. But in terms of high danger chances for, high danger Corsi for percentage, the Oilers rank first in the league, 62.99%. Now, in saying that, the Oilers, they generate a ton of high danger chances, but their high danger goals for percentage, only 46.15%. Their high danger shooting percentage is only 8.96%, which ranks third last in the league. They are just ahead of San Jose and the Philadelphia Flyers. And the high danger save percentage, Edmonton is getting 78.13% saves. Their team shooting percentage at even strength is a paltry 5.13%, which ranks, was that 32, 31, 30, 29, 29th in the NHL. And then when you take a look at team save percentage at even strength, again, they are kind of middle of the pack when it comes to the save percentage at even strength, but the high danger save percentage has not been great. If you look at the Oilers PDO, they are sitting at a 9.67. Now, a 1.0 generally shows where a team should be. Whatever is going on, it's shooting percentage plus save percentage. The Oilers right now are only sitting at a 9.67 PDO. So when you take a look at their advanced metrics, when you take a look at how well they have been playing in terms of generating high danger chances, in terms of generating expected goals, this team is just not putting the puck in the net. That 5.13 shooting percentage will go up. The save percentage will continue to get better at, the high danger looks. And of course, that PDO will eventually bump itself up. So what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that the Oilers are 3-4-1, but they are on the verge of not only breaking out offensively consistently, they are on the verge of going on a extended win streak or winning, 7 of their next 9, 8 of their next 10 games. This is a team where their analytics show that this is a much better team than what the record is showing. And just like last year, early in the season, kind of the same thing before Woodcroft got fired. A lot of their advanced metrics were really strong, but they weren't getting any saves. They weren't putting the puck in the net as much as they would have liked. And they weren't converting on the expected goals. Now, of course, this is not for everyone. Not everyone is into the, I would say, the advanced analytics, but this is a good way to kind of showcase and discuss why this team might not be performing the way they are right now and what to look forward to. And I would say the Oilers have probably started to turn the corner already. They have won 3 of their last 5 games. They are 3-1-1 in those 5 games. They have beaten the Philadelphia Flyers, Nashville Predators, Pittsburgh Penguins. They lost in overtime to the Carolina Hurricanes, and then they lost in regulation to the Dallas Stars in a game that probably could have been winnable had they not completely collapsed in the third period. But for the Edmonton Oilers, the team's advanced metrics are looking very strong. They're looking just as good as last year, maybe if not a little bit better. It's just about converting on their chances and hopefully finding a way to score a few more goals and keep the puck out of the net a little bit more. Tonight, I think, was a great start in doing that. If Edmonton plays like they did against Pittsburgh, against most other teams, of course, they are going to win far more often than they're going to lose. And for a lot of players, too, on the Oilers who are struggling, who have yet to score a goal or get any points, it's coming. You can feel it's coming. Nugent-Hopkins last night, he scored his first goal. And Viktor Arvidsson, who was probably the MVP of the game, he ended up scoring he didn't score. He had 3 assists. So we're going to discuss Viktor Arvidsson's game last night. Viktor Arvidsson last night, phenomenal game. He had an expected goals for percentage of 83%. He had 3 assists. And when he was on the ice, there was something happening every single shift. And it started in the first period. Viktor Arvidsson had probably 3 or 4 high danger looks just on his own in that first period. He had some incredible looks in front of the crease. He just could not bury the puck. And I think he decided after that first period, he was like, you know what? I'm just going to be a playmaker. Let's just give the puck to someone else. They can put the puck in the net. And that's exactly what happened. In the second period, in a scoreless game where the Oilers, I thought for sure were never going to score again, he makes a nice play off the boards, pops the puck out to Draisaitl, who flies up the ice in transition. Draisaitl with an absolute beautiful snipe to make it 1-0 Edmonton, Arvidsson's first point of the game. And then a little bit later, Arvidsson ended up getting an assist on Evan Bouchard's goal to make it 2-0. Now, that goal was delayed for a offside challenge. Mike Sullivan and the Pittsburgh Penguins coaching staff did challenge that for offside. And on my first glance of that replay for offside, I agreed with the challenge. I was like, you know what? That's going to be a tough one to turn back. It's going to be a tough one to turn around and say, you know what? That is clearly onside. Somehow, some way, the call goes Edmonton's favor. I still have yet to see an official replay that shows that puck did not cross the plane after Podkolzin's skate. But the league must have a replay. There must be something that I have yet to see as a fan that shows that was clearly still onside. Now, I know the call on the ice was onside, so you need conclusive evidence to overturn the call. I have seen, and we have all seen, that call go the other way numerous times. We've seen plays that are a lot closer, in my opinion, get called back. So I was surprised that goal stood. Pleasantly surprised, of course. But Viktor Arvidsson, that was his second point of the game. Then in the third period, the top power play unit comes off the ice. Arvidsson goes out and takes a face-off, wins it back to Mattias Ekholm. Corey Perry with the screen in front. Ekholm puts a seeing-eye shot over the right blocker of Blomqvist, makes it 4-0 Edmonton at that point in the game. That was Viktor Arvidsson's third point of the game, and it was nice to see that second power play unit get rewarded as well. The Oilers' top power play unit, I know it's not one of the topics that I'm discussing, but I am going to discuss it briefly while I discuss Arvidsson's game, is the top power play unit for Edmonton is not doing nearly enough. They had an opportunity last night to really take that game over and really plant that seed of doubt on the Pittsburgh Penguins. When they had the 1-0 lead and then 2-0 lead, when that call on the ice, or when the officials made the call that, that was an onside play, and then Pittsburgh gets hit with the delay of game penalty, you want your top power play unit to go out there with 2 minutes left in the period, and or 3 minutes left, whatever it was, and go up 3-0 and really just put the game away at that point. But that top power play unit, it goes out there. It does absolutely nothing. I think they got one shot. Zach Hyman had a 2-on-1 with Connor McDavid. He had a probably wide open net if he had just been able to hold on to the puck for 1 extra second. Puck goes under his stick. He bobbles it. Edmonton loses possession. The Oilers' top power play unit is definitely struggling right now. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's a personnel thing. But at least the second power play unit was rewarded. That second power play unit, they usually only get about 20, 30 seconds a game if they're lucky. So it was nice to see them come out. It was nice to see Arvidsson win a faceoff. Gets it back to Mattias Ekholm, who rifles a shot. And I think that was his second of the year, maybe his first. I don't remember. Either way, it doesn't matter. The Oilers find a way to win this one, and Viktor Arvidsson, is really nice to see him get his first points as an Oiler. He has deserved it. He's played well, and him and Draisaitl, you can see the chemistry really building here. So hopefully moving forward, Arvidsson, Draisaitl, and if it is Podkolzin on that second line, hopefully they keep building off that, because Podkolzin also had an assist. Really good play from him. I thought Podkolzin's game was phenomenal last night. But we're going to move on and talk about Stuart Skinner. Stuart Skinner gets the shutout, and he improves his record this season, and it's good to see, for Oilers fans. Obviously, earlier in the year, things were not going the way they wanted the season to go. But for Stuart Skinner, he is now, what's his record here? 2-3-1 on the year. His save percentage is now up to an .890, so he's almost at 900, and his goals against is at 3.06. So those numbers, we all know that they're going to balance out. We know Stuart Skinner. We've seen him when he's on his best, and he was at his best last night. And I would argue even that started against the Carolina Hurricanes as well. Stuart Skinner, not only did he give the team a chance to win, but he made some big saves when the game still wasn't out of reach, when the game was still definitely within that range where Pittsburgh could find a way to come back. There was a shorthanded 2-on-1 that the Penguins got when the Oilers had their top unit out, and Stuart Skinner had to slide across the ice, make a huge pad save. And then there was another play later in the third where Leon Draisaitl threw a pizza up the middle of the ice. Erik Karlsson took it, and Erik Karlsson, when he's that close in front on a breakaway, you expect a goal, but Stuart Skinner, he came out, he challenged, did not give Karlsson anything above his shoulders to shoot at, forced to shoot at the pads, and Stuart Skinner, he played great last night. And like I said, it was a carryover from that Carolina game. Stuart Skinner against the Carolina Hurricanes was absolutely phenomenal. He was dialed in. He was making Hasek-style saves, looking like Dominic Hasek in his prime. Now, it's a little unorthodox how he played against Carolina, and the Oilers definitely defensively needed to tighten up. I thought tonight, defensively, Edmonton played pretty well. They gave up some high-danger looks, but when they did, Stuart Skinner was there, and that's what you want from your goaltender. I don't expect Stuart Skinner to play that strongly every single night because some of the saves he was forced to make, you don't want your defense to give up too many of those because some of those are going to end up going in. But for Stuart Skinner, it's good to see him really bounce back, find his groove. And he looked, the thing with Stuart Skinner when he's confident, he's not shaking around all over his crease. He looked dialed in last night. He had some swagger to him. Some of the saves that he'd make, and he'd kind of just, he'd flex his shoulders a little bit, and just he looked so confident in the crease, and that is such a good thing to see. If Stuart Skinner starts to heat up, watch out, because this team is going to go on a huge run if he has truly found his game. I know it takes some players a little bit longer to get going. It seems like the Oilers are just an engine that takes a while to start moving, but once they move, they are going to be a freight train. And going back to that 8-game sample size, with the advanced analytics showing that this team is on the verge of just breaking out offensively and really going on a big run here, it's good to see. I do think for Stuart Skinner, like I said, I don't expect him to have to make that many high danger saves in a game, but the fact that he did last night puts a lot more confidence in me. And as someone that believes in Stuart Skinner, thinks Stuart Skinner has what it takes to be an elite goaltender, a top 5 goaltender in this league, games like that really make me go, you know what? As long if we can see that consistently, fans all across oil country are going to be very happy. Great game from Stuart Skinner. Now, speaking of the defense in front of Stuart Skinner, let's talk about Brett Kulak and Ty-Emberson. Last night, that defense pair was unbelievable. Brett Kulak with a 93% expected goals for percentage, Ty-Emberson with an 86.7 expected goals for percentage. Those two led the way, and those two should never be broken up ever again. If you are Chris Knobloch and Paul Coffey, if you're ever thinking of taking a defenseman out of the lineup, do not take Ty-Emberson out. It did take Ty-Emberson a couple games to get a little bit comfortable. He didn't look, great with Darnell Nurse, but Kulak and Emberson together have looked very, very strong, and that defense pair has been great. They played amazing last night. Brett Kulak had actually a lot of ice time. Brett Kulak was only on the ice for 6 shot attempts against at even strength when he was on the ice, so that's pretty impressive. Brett Kulak had himself a game. Kulak didn't get himself on the board in terms of scoring. However, he had probably his best game of the season. Ty-Emberson, his best game of the season. And that defense pair as a whole, that is Edmonton's best defense pair right now, other than Ekholm and Bouchard, in terms of the advanced metrics, that is. But Bouchard, he scored last night. That's great to see. Ekholm scored last night. That's great to see. But in terms of, defensemen that are shutting the play down, driving the play up the ice, and not allowing your opponent to gain any kind of sustained momentum or pressure, Kulak and Emberson. It seemed like every time Pittsburgh would have a shift or two where it looked like they were starting to turn their game around, Kulak and Emberson would jump onto the ice and they would just shut that thing down. They would break up the passes. They would skate it out of trouble. Ty-Emberson, I think Ty-Emberson, he's not a flashy player, but you can see that he has all the tools in his at his disposal to be a really, really solid shutdown D-man. He's a good skater. He's a good puck mover. He doesn't panic. That's the thing with Ty-Emberson. He just doesn't panic. When the puck's on his stick, and he's got 2 or 3 forecheckers coming in on him, if he needs to spin away from a check, he will. If he needs to make a 4-foot pass to a teammate that's coming down low to support, he does that. I like that Emberson doesn't just panic and throw pucks off the glass and hope that it clears the zone. Ty-Emberson is always looking to make a play. Brett Kulak with his skating ability, it's nice to see him go up on the rush. There was one play, I think it was in the 3rd period, Brett Kulak was the forechecker. He dumped the puck into the left corner and then went in after it. Love to see it. I love that those two are playing with confidence right now, and I do like that those two are starting to build some chemistry, so that's really nice to see. Nothing against Travis Dermott. All the respect in the world to Travis Dermott, but Emberson should be a regular in this lineup, and Stetcher and Nurse look much better together than Dermott and Nurse. So right now, the defense pairs, we need consistency, and hopefully they keep it that way. Next topic for discussion is Zach Hyman may never score again, and this is more, me being funny, but it's true. Zach Hyman, Did he use up all of his luck last year? Is there some kind of voodoo? Is there bad juju going on here? Not sure what's happening with Zach Hyman. He has had some incredible looks. Again, last night, the amount of looks that Zach Hyman had, and he just could not bury that puck. It's very unfortunate. You know it's coming, though. Zach Hyman is not going to go an entire... this is not going to be a Connor Brown situation. It's not going to be, March whatever until Zach Hyman scores his first goal of the season. We know what Zach Hyman is capable of. Now, we knew Zach Hyman was going to regress. This type of regression is a little bit further than any of us expected because it's an outlier. This type of regression is an outlier. Just like last year's 54-goal season was an outlier, he is a 30, 35-goal scorer. He is not a 0-goal scorer, and he's not a 50-goal scorer. Zach Hyman, he had some really good looks. The team last night, they put out Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid with him with 2 minutes left in a 4-0 game to try and get him off the schneid. Hyman, he got himself in on a breakaway, went to the backhand, and I was saying this last night, I can't remember if it was the post-game live stream on Game Over Edmonton or the Game Over reaction, or not Game Over, the post-game reaction here on Austin Hockey. I can't remember which one I was saying, but Zach Hyman should just shoot the puck. Pick a corner. I want him to just snipe one, just rifle it. He keeps going to the backhand when he gets these partial or full-on breakaways, and goaltenders, I think they're reading him really well when it comes to his backhand. I think he's just got to shoot it. I think he's got to pick a corner, whether you want to go low blocker, low glove, high blocker, just rifle that thing. Pick a corner, just put it in there. Zach Hyman, and once one goal goes in for Zach Hyman, the floodgates are going to open. Like I said, when the game that he gets his first of the season, I'm going to put money down and say that it's probably he's going to get a hat trick that night. And, like Viktor Arvidsson, took a while to get his first point of the year, but once he did, he had 3. Zach Hyman, he doesn't have a point yet this season. I thought he was going to get an assist on Nugent-Hopkins' goal, but I guess they determined he did not have control or make the play to Nugent-Hopkins. But Zach Hyman, he is some snake bitten. There's some black magic voodoo going on, and he needs a bit of an exorcism, right? So whatever you have at home right now, viewers, whatever you can do to help Zach Hyman, if you need to make a sacrifice, make a sacrifice. Of course, don't sacrifice an actual living being. I do not condone that. But if you need to light some light some Jack Campbell's on fire. That's going to help Zach Hyman score. Oh no, what am I saying? No, if you need to light some candles, create a little bit of a seance. I don't actually know how any of this works. How to get a curse off of someone, but whatever you need to do, whatever type of ritual you think needs to happen for Zach Hyman to score again, I will let you do it. And make sure that if you do a little ritual for Zach Hyman, tag me on Twitter or x.com at ahockey1993. I would love to see it. Zach Hyman needs all the help he can get. Let's do it, Oilers fans. Let's get him some help. But that's pretty much it from me for the day after discussion. As I discussed earlier, up next for the Oilers, they play the Detroit Red Wings tomorrow. That is Sunday at 4 p.m. Mountain. And then they play the Columbus Blue Jackets on Monday at 5 p.m. Mountain. A little road trip here. They'll finish off in Nashville on October 31st, Halloween at 6 p.m. So for the Oilers, they have some winnable games here. 3 winnable games. They have a chance. If at minimum, they should take 2 of 3. And that would put them at 5-5-1 to finish off October. If this team can be at 500 at the end of October, that is a significant improvement over what their record was in October last season, and they can really build off of that because this is a team that is on the verge of completely turning their season around. And the Detroit Red Wings, they are a beatable team. Yes, Detroit is 4-3. Their advanced metrics don't look great. They beat the Islanders 1-0, and they only had 10 shots on goal. And then they won the other night, and they were outshot almost 2-1. So the Detroit Red Wings, that is a team that you cannot sit on. You cannot just assume that they're not going to be able to win a hockey game. But that's a team that the Oilers should beat. And then, of course, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Again, there are no free games out there. Every team can beat anyone any given night if you are not prepared. The Columbus Blue Jackets are 3-3 this season, but that is a game that Edmonton you would expect to go in and be able to handle the Blue Jackets and win. But we did just see Columbus beat Toronto 6-2 or whatever the score was the other night. So again, you can't take these teams lightly. And Nashville, they should be on the verge of turning their season around. They are 2-5. They've won 2 straight games, so that's going to be another tough game for Edmonton. But they do historically play very well against the Nashville Predators. In terms of my content, what is coming up for me? Tomorrow, I will have a pregame report up sometime early in the morning. And then I will have a post-game reaction video. It will not be up until like 10 p.m. tomorrow after the game. My work schedule, I will be at work until it's going to be like 8, 9 p.m. Mountain. I'm at work until tomorrow. So my post-game video will not be up until like 10-ish. So I hope you don't mind that. I hope, if you're looking forward to my thoughts on the game, don't worry. They will be up tomorrow night after the game, just not as quickly as usual. Same with the Columbus game. My post-game thoughts and reaction will be up a little bit later, but on Sunday, the 28th, I'll have the pregame report up in the morning. And then for Tuesday, on Tuesday, the 29th, I will do a day after discussion going over the Red Wings game and the Blue Jackets game. Whenever the Oilers play their back-to-backs, I do like to wait for the day after episode until after they've played both games, and then I kind of condense them into one long episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate your support. The Oilers with a big win last night. And as a friendly reminder, please make sure you hit that like button on this video here on YouTube if you liked today's day after discussion. And of course, always let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think I missed? Is there anything that you wanted me to talk about that I did not? Is there anything that I did talk about that you don't agree with? I love engaging with all the comments, so make sure you let me know all of your thoughts below. And again, friendly reminder, I am part of the Game Over Edmonton Network, or the Game Over Network. I am part of Game Over Edmonton at the Game Over Network. There we go. Words, what are they? It is early in the morning. Make sure to go over to Game Over Edmonton's YouTube channel, subscribe, and show them lots of love and support, because throughout the season, you will see me over there doing post-game recaps. Thank you all so much for watching, for listening. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or Amazon or wherever you get your podcasts, thank you. It truly means the world. I appreciate all of your support. It's just incredible. I every day I kind of pinch myself and go, you know what, I'm super lucky right now. And I do appreciate it. Make sure you tell someone that you love them, and always fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. We'll see you in the next one, Oil Country. Take care.